Welcome back to Tech Pulse, your go-to show where we take the biggest breakthroughs in science and technology and make them not just digestible, but genuinely exciting. I'm Zaper.
And I'm Puck, your curious sidekick, who's here to ask the, wait, what questions so you don't have to.
And hey, before we dive in, quick reminder. Hit that subscribe button, drop us a like, maybe even share this with a friend who pretends to hate science, but secretly binge watches ace documentaries at 2 a.m.
We all know someone like that.
Guilty. All right, today's headline is a big one. Researchers track elusive proton transfer through water molecules.
Okay, pause. Proton transfer through water? What does that even mean?
Great question. Let's break it down. A proton is basically a positively charged particle, one of the building blocks of atoms.
So, like, inside every hydrogen atom, there's basically just one proton hanging out?
Exactly. And water, H2O, that's two hydrogens and one oxygen, which means lots of protons around.
Got it. But transfer through water molecules sounds sci-fi. Are we saying protons are like hopping from one water molecule to another?
Bingo! Scientists have long believed that protons don't just sit still. They kind of hitchhike across a network of water molecules. Think of it like a relay race at the molecular level.
Snaps fingers, passing the baton, but the baton is a proton.
Exactly.
So what did Yale's researchers actually do?
They measured how long it takes for a proton to move through water molecules. And that's a big deal because even though we've known this process is happening, it's been a mystery for over 200 years how fast it actually happens.
2 centuries of head scratching. That's impressive persistence.
Right? And to pull this off, they used a massive custom-built 30-foot-long mass spectrometer.
30 feet? That's like longer than a bus.
Yep, not exactly pocket science.
Okay, but what's a mass spectrometer?
Good catch. It's a machine scientists use to measure the masses of molecules and atoms, kind of like a super precise scale that also tells you about structure.
So they built a bus-sized, super precise molecular scale just to watch tiny protons move.
Pretty much. Here's the wild part. They chilled molecules down to nearly absolute zero using what they called a molecular refrigerator.
Wait, absolute zero, like minus 273 degrees Celsius? The coldest temperature possible?
Exactly. At those temperatures, molecules stop jiggling around so much, which lets scientists get clearer measurements.
So they froze the molecules, then hit them with lasers and electronics, and boom, they could watch protons move.
That's the gist.
Science hack. When in doubt, freeze it and shine lasers at it.
They also used a special probe molecule, 4-aminobenzoic acid.
Okay, science tongue twister. What is that?
It's a molecule with two protonation sites, basically two spots where protons can attach, and those sites light up in different colors when hit with light.
Like little proton parking spots that glow?
Exactly. So researchers could watch when the proton moved from one spot to another by tracking the color change.
That's genius. So the water molecules act like taxis carrying the proton between those parking spots.
That's literally how the researchers described it, a water network taxi.
Next time I call an Uber, I'm going to say, hey, you're my proton taxi today.
Now, here's why this is huge. These measurements give us the first real experimental benchmarks for proton transport.
And benchmarks are like checkpoints to make sure the computer models are right?
Exactly. Until now, most of what scientists believed about proton transfer came from simulations.
So we've been trusting the math, but never actually had stopwatch level proof of how fast it happens.
Right. And now we do.
Okay, so zooming out, why should the average person care about this?
Great question. Proton transport is everywhere. It's in how your eyes process light. It's in how fuel cells work. It's in energy storage, even in how plants do photosynthesis.
So this tiny proton race underpins, like, life and technology.
Exactly. And improving our understanding could lead to better fuel cells, more efficient batteries, and even advances in medical science.
And all this came from watching protons jump around 6 water molecules. That's like solving traffic jams in New York by studying ants on a sidewalk.
Pretty much. Oh, and I remember reading protons don't always behave normally, right? There's some quantum weirdness here.
You're absolutely right. Protons are so small and so light that quantum mechanics kicks in. They don't move like billiard balls. They tunnel and jump in ways that defy our everyday logic.
So, not only are they hitching rides, they're also breaking traffic laws with quantum shortcuts.
Perfect analogy.
This wasn't a small effort either. It was funded by the U.S. Department of Energy, the Air Force Office of Scientific Research, and the NIH.
Heavy hitters.
And it was led by Mark Johnson's lab at Yale. Plus, two PhD students, Peyton Harville and Abhijit Rana, co-led the study.
Love when students make the big discoveries. That's future Nobel Prize resume material right there.
So, to sum it up, scientists finally measured how long it takes for protons to move through water molecules. It's a breakthrough that validates decades of theory and opens doors for fuel cells, batteries, and even biology.
And all it took was a bus-sized spectrometer, a molecular fridge, some lasers, and 2 very determined grad students.
Science at its finest.
That's all for today's Tech Pulse.
If you enjoyed this episode, hit like, drop a comment, and of course, subscribe so you never miss a dive into the future of science and tech.
I'm Puck.
And I'm Zaker. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time on Tech Pulse.